Hey, what's up guys, it's Jordan from TeasersBooks, and today I will be filming a book haul. I just got a brand new camera, so hopefully this turns out okay. I guess we'll see once I upload the footage. It has a viewfinder, and I'm super excited because now I can actually see where the books will be on the page, screen, thing. Okay, let's get started. So I got a bunch of books from my bookstore downtown for review, so I'll be showing those, and I'll also be showing some of the books I've bought over the past month or so. So the first book that I received from the bookstore downtown was The Remedy by Susan Collins. I don't believe I've hauled this one yet, and if I have, oops. This is the prequel to the Program series. I read the Program and I have not yet read the treatment, but apparently you don't have to read the treatment to understand this one, or the Program actually. It sounds really good. It's about this girl who, when people die, she goes into their family and pretends to be like that person that just passed away so they can mourn and slowly let go of their child or whoever they lost, normally the child since she's a teenage girl. And then one time she visits this one family, and apparently she starts to fall in love with the boy there, and she's not allowed to have any kind of relationships because of the job that she does. It sounds really interesting, and I really love the world in the Program, so I'm hoping that I will enjoy this one too. The next book that I received for review is Encore to an Empty Room by Kevin Emerson. This book is the sequel to Encore to an Empty Room, or it's just called Exile. Okay, it's the sequel to Exile, and I have not read the Exile book. If I ever do want to pick this up, I will borrow from the library the first book or download it on my Kobo. I probably won't buy the physical book unless I've heard really good things about the first novel, and I haven't even heard of this series until I got this book for review. I'm really not sure what it's about. Like, I'm not gonna read the back because I don't want to spoil myself if I do end up reading this. I don't know, I haven't really heard anything about it. Sorry. The next book I went out and bought immediately after I saw the movie trailer for it, and that is Me and Earl and the Dying Girl by Jessie Andrews. This book is about a girl who gets diagnosed with cancer, and this boy named Greg, I can never remember his name. This boy named Greg ends up going out and having to talk to this girl who he's never really talked to. He's kind of only been acquaintances with everyone through his entire life except for with Earl, who was his only friend. And they make really crappy movies, like they redo movies. So they decide to make a movie for her because she's getting sicker and sicker. I really enjoyed this book. Like, I read it already and I loved it. It was hilarious. It was not what I was expecting it to be, and I definitely recommend this book. I thought it was about The Fault in Our Stars, like kind of like that, and it's not like that at all. So if you're not reading it because it's a cancer story, it's not about cancer, like not even remotely close. Like it's like a subtopic to the main topic of Greg. Yeah. The next book that I bought because it went #1 the week it debuted, and that is Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. I have already read this book. I loved it so much. I enjoyed it a lot. I read it in 2 days, maybe a few days, I don't know, but I read it really quickly, especially since it's a fantasy novel and it's a decently large book. It's about this world where you're split into the Reds and the Silvers based on your blood, and the Silvers have powers and they rule over the Reds, and the Reds live in poverty because they're just normal people. And then one day this girl named, I can never remember people's names. One day this girl named Mare finds out that she has a power, except her blood is red, and she kind of gets taken in by the King Queen to hide her from the Reds so they don't decide to rebel. And it was a really interesting story. It has a great plot twist, and I was not expecting it at all. Like, I kind of saw it, but not really. Not until I actually read it. I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, it was really good, and I can't wait for the next one in the rest of this series. The next book, which I also mentioned in my May TBR, which should be up by now, is The Replaced by Kimberly Durning. This is the second book in the Taking series. The first book, because I'm not going to explain the premise of this one, is about a girl who gets into a fight with her dad, and she gets out of the car, and then all of a sudden she sees a white light, and she wakes up and she doesn't know where she is, and she goes back home and she finds out that she's been missing for 5 years, but she hasn't aged a day. And so everyone's talking to her, and her boyfriend moved on to another girl, and she starts to talk to her boyfriend's little brother, who is now her own age. And it's really interesting. It's like a contemporary with a sci-fi kind of mixed in, and I really enjoyed that. I definitely recommend you pick up The Taking, and I'm super excited to read The Replaced. I'm really excited to read The Replaced. I really hope it lives up to the first book. The next book I got is Confess by Colleen Hoover. After I read Maybe Someday, I immediately borrowed Ugly Love from a friend, and then she convinced me to buy Confess in the store. Her books are really expensive for a paperback. It's like $18. $19 in Canada, of course it is. Anyway, this book is based off of an art form, so there's like paintings and stuff. I've only read about the first chapter or so, and it's really interesting so far. All of Colleen Hoover's books so far haven't let me down. I've read them super quickly, and so it's really good to be able to sit down and just read it and not stop. This book, which I also received from my local bookstore, and it is The Lies About the Truth by Courtney C. Stevens. I don't really know what this is about, I just read the back, but what I've gotten from the back is that this girl named Sadie was in a car accident and her best friend was killed, and she starts to fall in love with her best friend's brother. She doesn't know if she can be with him because of what happened, and it just sounds like a regular, like, dramatic contemporary. I don't know if it'll be very different from all the original, like, regular contemporaries, but a contemporary is a contemporary. Yeah, how many times did I say contemporary? Also, this book comes out on November 15th, or November 2015. I'm really excited for this. I hope it's good. I hope it's addicting, because I really love addicting contemporaries. The next book, I read the back and I was just immediately intrigued, and I can't wait to get to it, and it is Ash and Bramble by Sarah Prianis. This book is a Cinderella retelling kind of story. She makes gowns for different fairy tales. At least that's what I've gotten from it. And then she gets taken on her own story, and she gets a kiss, and she meets a prince, and the clock is running out just like in Cinderella, and it just sounds like a really cool adaptation, like, version of it. I'm very excited to read it. This book comes out in September of 2015, so you have a bit of time, but hopefully I can read it soon and get a review out to you guys so I can amp the book up and you know if you should get it or not. And the last book that I received for review is Dumplin' by Julie Murphy. This is about a girl who's a fat bottom girl basically, and she meets this jock from another high school, and she doesn't think he would ever go for her, but then he starts to show interest, and she gets kind of confused because she's like, why would you go for me? Because I'm overweight and I'm not very pretty. What happens is that she starts to doubt herself when he starts to take interest in her, and she's never doubted herself before, so she decides to enter in a beauty pageant and a bunch of other girls who also aren't like twigs basically. And it sounds really interesting. It sounds like a really powerful story. This comes out in September of 2015 as well, so if you're interested, if I read it, I'll give a review for sure and let you guys know what I thought of it. And the last thing in my book haul, I saved the best for last. I'm so excited about this. I saw this on Amazon and it was 75% off in the States, which means it was basically half off after shipping and handling, and the exchange in Canada, and so I just had to get it because I would never see this kind of a deal again. And oh, it's so beautiful. And it is the Harry Potter collection by J.K. Rowling, and it's so beautiful. I can just look at it forever. It makes the castle, if you couldn't tell. So I'm gonna show it off because I'm a bad person and show you all the covers because they're so pretty. So we have the Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. It's the Philosopher's Stone, guys. Get it right, America. It has the cover with Hagrid and Harry on the front and Diagon Alley, and on the back it has the mirror. Oh, I just love these covers. And they all have a quote from a different character on the back. This one is, "It is not do well to dwell on dreams and forget to live. Remember that, Albus Dumbledore." Next is Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, and it has the car on the front with Weasley's house, and the quote on the back, it has the Chamber of Secrets, and the quote on the back is, "This diary holds memories of terrible things, things that were covered up, things that happened at Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. Tom Marvolo Riddle." The third book, which is actually my favorite, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. This is my favorite cover too out of like the new set, and it has Remus teaching, and it says, what you fear most of all is fear." The next book is, okay, we'll obviously know what the next book is, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. Cover is beautiful as always, and it says, "It matters not what someone is born, but what they grow to be, Albus Dumbledore," with the dragon in the background. The next one is massive, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. This cover's pretty. It's not as like eye-catching as the others, but it's still awesome. And it is "We're coming with you, Harry," Neville Longbottom on the back with the order, Dumbledore's Army, that's what it's called, Dumbledore's Army on the back. And Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince has Dumbledore and Harry on the rock, very pretty, and the back says, when you have the last piece of the jigsaw, everything will, I hope, be clear, Albus Dumbledore. There's a lot of quotes by Albus Dumbledore on this, because everything he says is quote-worthy. And the last book, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, a very pretty book. And the quote is, neither can live while the other survives, and one is about to leave for good. Harry Potter. Dun dun dun, what will happen? That is my book haul. Let's try to stack these up. I'm not going to stack this one because if I drop it with the rest, I will never forgive myself. There's a lot of paperbacks in here, and paperbacks are slippery, so this makes me very nervous. So that is my book haul. Once again, you can follow me on my Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, and my blog. I'll put the links down below. Thanks for watching, and keep on reading, guys. I received this book for review from my local bookstore, and it is The Truth About... Lies About Truth.